Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. I'm Eric, this is Beeler Family Farm. I think I got an eye itch. Woo! I thought it might be nice to do a little farm update. It is June the 1st. Let's see how things are going. Like I said, June 1st, how are things at the farm? This morning was the little steer calves' last milk. Isn't that right, boys? I know you're probably disappointed about that. These are our 3 dairy cross calves. They are steers. It has been a rainy May, making up for the lack of rain in April, I suppose. But the good thing about that, you can see that they're currently in part of this paddock, only about the first 60 feet. And that's about 60 feet wide, 70 maybe. And it runs way down in the trees, about 400 feet long, down into them trees. We got another paddock over there. That's the same, but longer. Our property's kind of looks like Nevada. So they have lots of grass. They spend most of their time up here grazing in the dry lot on that new grass. But they're doing really well, putting on weight. Everything's going good for them. Let's go visit the piggies. We have 2 sows and 1 boar that we're going to keep. We got, let's see, who's wearing them? Well, there's Squiggy climbing over the top because they act like they're starving, even though they just got more than enough feed. Laverne, Shirley, Squiggy, and well, let's just call him Pork Chops. Even though we generally don't really do pork chops, we just kind of make bratwurst and breakfast sausage and stuff. But his trip to freezer camp is coming up pretty soon. Let's walk the orchard here. I don't think our peach trees bloomed at all this year, nor did the plums and the pears. I don't remember what this plum is. I'd have to look. This is like an Asian pear here. I think it had a couple of blooms on it, but nothing of real consequence. It's looking pretty good. These are Saskatoon blueberry, serviceberry, native to the U.S. Also a pear tree. It's looking a little rough. The deer tore it up last year. Another serviceberry. Almonds. I never catch them blooming, but they set almonds, and they're finally getting big enough that I think they might start producing. We have a hazelnut bush and another almond tree. The apple trees, however, are stacked with apples. I'll end up having to thin, and I need to do some pruning. This is as tall as I want my trees. I did some pruning. They're fairly open, but I've got more to do this winter, I think. I might do a little bit of summer pruning here. We'll see about that. This is Arkansas Black. That's an Arkansas Black. Those are my favorite apples. We have 1 non-native gooseberry bush. Look at that pretty little gooseberry. That'll taste like a plum. Oh, that's good. Green grapes. This apple is, I don't remember. I have to look at the chart, but it's loaded. So this looks impressive, but that's too many apples. It needs to be down to at least that, maybe even more. Same with this tree. We had a pretty bad windstorm, and it's got a branch I need to cut out right here. This is a Yellow Delicious, and you can see this. People think that's amazing, but this is too many apples. This tree cannot support these apples and make them make anything. So those are going to get thinned out, probably by a third. Concord grapes here. I need to build a trellis, but I'm hoping we get some grapes this year. There's a bunch of them on there, as long as the Asian beetles don't destroy them. The blackberries have started blooming. Won't be long for those. We'll be picking blackberries. Picking blackberries. Like I say, none of the peach trees bloomed. That one has always struggled. This one has done well. That one's done pretty good. That one's okay. That one's struggling, and that one's struggling. I think that one's struggling because it's too close to that walnut tree. So I think we're gonna probably buy a couple of new peach trees and maybe put one up here further. I don't know. This tree and that tree, this apple tree has kind of also struggled. You can see it had a branch that broke. Still makes good apples. This one is, I think a Gravenstein, and I think that's a Gravenstein or something like that. I don't remember. Makes big apples. They're really good. I know the rain has kept things growing. Definitely haven't had to water much. The barn project. Boy, look at that hot mess, right? So we obviously got this back extension mostly done. I need some details to finish up. I really need to get this wall built in, and I need to order concrete blocks because we're going to build concrete block foundation from here rest of the way around so that we can control runoff and it's actually on a footing. Steel projects, metal projects, my scrap pile buried in the grass here, my trenching plow, my first evolution of a trenching plow. I think I'm going to keep that because I want to maybe try to fix it up a little bit and use it for shallow drain tile work. I think I can make it work for that. The ladies, hello ladies. I know, muddy again. We just got dried out. Got to go pick up sand, get sand in there. There's never a lack of a list if you have a piece of property, but I'll take it. I don't mind at all. Let's see how much rain we got overnight. Let's go up here and look at the rain gauge. Walking across my feet are going to be soaked. The pumpkin patch. Got that planted a few days ago ahead of the rain. We got, can you see that? About 5, maybe 6/10, a little over a ½ an inch of rain. Gosh, that's not bad. The greenhouse, it is mostly empty for the year. We got one flower planter that needs to go back to somebody. This stuff is just, it's not going to get planted. That's not going to get planted. It is excess plants. I need to still do sweet potatoes. They've been slow. We struggled. I've got 3 peppers in here. We're going to try the overwinter, the pepper plant project thing, because peppers are technically like a biennial, and second year production is supposed to be amazing. This is a cherry bush I dug up and moved instead of cutting it off. It's starting to put on growth, so I might have a little destination for that. Got some ideas there. Somebody commented on our last video, or last post actually, on Instagram that they love cherries and would like to have cherries, so maybe we could work out a meet and greet there. They're gonna be a swimming pond. It has held significantly more water than I hoped, but of course it's rained a lot more than I expected. Little willow tree there that I didn't plant. Thousands of tadpoles. Look at all of them. And I promise our girls would be in the middle of that mud hole if we'd let them. They love that little spot of water. But that pond is actually it'll be pretty much that wide. Extend that way a little more, maybe this way a little more. And it's going to come down to about right there. Kind of a comma shaped. Maybe 6 foot deep at the deepest part. That way if we put some pretty fish or something in it, they'll survive. The flower farm. First year we're working it out. Ranunculus here. They were planted late. but they're making some flowers that are pretty enough for the house. Got a lot of stuff here. Let's see, we got snapdragons, we've got celosia. Some of this stuff I just planted. It looks a little rough because I just weed eat it, and I need to mow. Marigolds, zinnias. Most of these are from Floret Farms. Beautiful zinnias. This is amaranth. It happens to make an edible green. Some more marigolds and more zinnias. Let's see what else we got. We have, they're going to be hard to see, Lisianthus. Slow growing little suckers. Man, we planted these a couple months ago. Slowly doing their thing. And let's see. Sunflowers, a row. More celosia. Nothing here. Nothing here. Can't tell it, but that is a row of cantaloupe. The veggie garden. It's got spots that don't look so good that I need to get in and do something with. This is actually mostly wheat, partially weeds. A strip of turnips. I like turnips, nobody else does, but mostly this is forage stuff for the pigs. You can see we're starting to get some turnips in there. Just kind of broadcast sown. I'm looking as much for quantity as anything. The spinach is bolted for the year. It's pretty done. Got the new compost pile. Potatoes, 1, 2, 3, 5 rows of potatoes here. I don't know what, 30 feet long, give or take. They're getting close. You can see these are yellowing up. Getting pretty close to digging. I got one row there I need to hoe the weeds out of. More amaranth and basil. Kind of some leftover plants that we decided to put in the ground. This is our no dig section of the garden that I need to weed, because it also looks like no weeding section, but garlic and onions, the garlic is really close to coming out. One lonely head of lettuce left. There's some kale, some weeds, some carrots. The cabbage is looking pretty good. I need to get some diatomaceous earth on some of this stuff. Cauliflower to about here, and then broccoli the rest of the way. Look out there, little tomato. I need to get my string trellis up across the tomatoes. They're looking pretty good. The mix of canning tomatoes like Amish paste, things like that, and also slicing in cherry tomatoes in there. Peppers, pretty good. I ended up having to put sleeves on everything. We had a vole or something that was destroying it. Kind of the active compost pile there. I'd like to build an enclosed spot, but we kind of end up with a lot of compost because of the cows and the pigs. As we clean straw and stuff out, it adds up pretty fast. So it doesn't really work most of the time to have an enclosed compost space. All right, so here we got watermelon, 2 rows. There's cucumbers and summer squash. 1 long row of green beans. Here's another look at that grassy wheat. What's the difference? This is wheat, but not just any wheat. That is einkorn wheat. Einkorn wheat is considered an ancient grain, and we use it quite a bit. Thought we'd try to grow it this year. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if it's too dark up in here to check on the mushroom logs. I don't know. I have yet to see any mushroom log activity. These are shiitakes right there. Oh, that reminds me, there's something else we got to check on. Oysters, and I think lion's mane over there. These have been in plugged less than a year, so that just might be a maturity problem on the spawn or the spores. not having populated the log all the way. We have, let's see, you see that big old oak tree right here? Big old oak tree. And it's generally in good health, I think. But some years ago, they did a little water work and they broke some roots off. And ever since, or recently over the last few years, we get chicken of the wood mushrooms that come up. And I noticed yesterday that there were some coming up, and I want them to mature just a little bit more before I cut them. Do, do, do. Oh wow, even more have come up. Small little bundles right there. But they're maturing. I'd say by tomorrow I'll probably cut those off. That's so cool. Don't know if I'm not sure what I'll do with them. I might freeze dry them. We currently have stuff in the freeze dryer, but we'll see. Might dehydrate them. See how that goes. The cherries are wrapping up. They are ripe and ready, and we have picked and picked and picked cherries, but have you ever seen such a beautiful thing? They are so good. Tart, kind of sweet, really good. I think you guys got some water. One blueberry bush. It doesn't like it there. And the asparagus patch. I'd like to build a big elevated bed for all this. About 12, 16 inches deep. Get it off of the ground. I think, what does that leave? That leaves the hayfield. Let's go look at the hayfield. I'm hoping, like I say, it's June 1st. Normally, we kind of have hay in the barn by about now. It has rained every week, every third or fourth day, which in one way is good because we had a very dry spring, which means that the grass hay that we produce, which is orchard grass, some fescue, blue stem, little blue stem, big blue stem, things like that. Because it was stressed this spring in the drought and the dry, it set seed heads really early. And obviously seed heads aren't what makes good forage for cows. So all of the rain in May has caused it to really put on a lot of undergrowth. And is it perfect hay? No. But it is spray-free hay. We don't spray it. And I've got a couple spots where I did dirt work that it's weedy. But overall, we got some, that's pretty good undergrowth. Right, so I'm hoping that makes about 100. Got some clover in it, which I'm okay with. Put 100 bales up from here. We bale on shares with the neighbor lady on the other side of those trees. And that field is, man, it's full. It is heavy. I think the portion that we do will probably make about 300 squares, maybe 350. She only uses 200 a year and usually has some left. And I take the remainder of the first cutting and then the second cutting. So pretty confident that we're going to be maxing out the barn this year for hay, which is good because you remember the 3 calves we got in the barn? While we do have good paddocks and our grass generally recovers quickly, we still, come August, it's going to be dry. We'll probably feed some hay to keep the pressure off of the grazing. And then over the winter, of course, grass is slow for us here in Missouri. The pig lot, you can try to pasture your pigs all you want. What's up, Squiggy? What you doing, buddy? Huh? I would scratch you on the head, but you a muddy mess. Just the way you like it. Ain't that right, Bubba? My converted freezer truck thing that I turned into the pig hut. Looks like I need to put some new straw in there. See if I can get that closed. That thing works out really good. It's insulated. It's heavy. Don't gotta worry about blowing over. Plenty big for the pigs. Just works really good. We're actually, so kind of from the corner of here, I'm going to shoot a fence all the way down and take this into pasture. Because if I manage the hay really well, make compost tea, do some natural fertilizing options, spread manure and stuff like that, then I think we have a really good balance of hayfield and pasture. It just, I mean, if you look, you can see we have really good soil structure. We have good recovery rates on our pastures. So I want to take this, I don't know, 40 feet or so, and I'm going to move this fence line over to there. That middle fence line's already moved. And then I just rotate them back and forth. What's up, pork chops? Yes, keep growing. Keep growing. Another couple weeks, buddy. A couple more weeks. He's excited about freezer camp. In case you can't tell, he doesn't know about freezer camp. Don't tell him. So, I don't know. That's kind of the June 1st overview of things at the farm. Yeah, how it's running. It's a cool, beautiful morning for June 1st. About 66 degrees, rained overnight. It's cool and damp. It's good weather. Yeah, well, I won't complain. Could be 100 and a drought. I hope that you guys enjoyed our little update. Hope you have a blessed day. And I hope that wherever you are, you're planting something, growing something, and doing something to enjoy the outdoors. Thanks for watching.